We'll continue from the last class. The line which is left over is talks here. The forsake wrong livelihood and throughout all lives be sustained by ethical livelihoods. So ethical livelihoods, wrong livelihoods. That's I'm going to talk briefly on it. So in the commentary that said the wrong livelihood cause one to degrade the quality of virtuous person. And so the next again, like forsake wrong livelihood and throughout all lives be sustains ethical life. So also Shantideva text, right? The Shantideva chapter 6 said, "It's better I die now than live, long with the wrong livelihood, even were I to live for long. The pain of death the same." So it's kind of between wrong livelihood, surviving with the wrong livelihood and just dying. Shantideva said, choose not die rather than survive with a long livelihood. This talks the wrong livelihood is, we can see how bad it is to choosing death and between it, choosing death, right? But yeah, but I'm not repeating what Shantideva give reasons here, that his last two lines giving you, even were I to live for long, the pain of death the same. So actually he's saying, if regarding Buddhist, we talk karma, then comparing that you're creating karma which having very long time, very long period suffering for sacrifice with the short suffering, which you're going to choose. That's it, right? So death is like a short period suffering, and then having the long suffering is the compared with the short period suffering, it's like a heavier suffering. So therefore, it's a choose the other ones. If who is not, if I'm just a little bit take off from Buddhist meaning of this, look at the only this lifetime. Wrong livelihoods actually will describe more the next line. But the wrong livelihoods let you create a lot of negative, and then as said here, degrade your the virtues, right? Means like your good habits, your good manners, or any good qualities, it will be degraded. And then so we counted the 5 wrong livelihoods. Well, the point is here is you surviving with the materials, whatever, which you're collecting with the deceive to other, lie to other, or like defeat to other, or maybe with fight with others, doing a lot of negativities to collecting those which you like, which you think it can survive your life, right? Those are we considered as a wrong livelihood, right? So, but today's the world almost like without wrong livelihood we cannot survive, like kind of like this kind of, so um yeah, I think it's, as we call it, is degeneration time. It's really the many of them or most of them to surviving with the wrong livelihood. So there might be very rare or few are there who survive with the right livelihoods, right? So therefore, try our best. Do like when you survive your life, anything you want to survive in your life, not get it through by deceive other, not get it through by the fight with other, defeat others, and then not get through by the lie to others, then it will be safe. So otherwise, so having more danger and more suffering in this lifetime. And regarding Buddhism, of course, we'll have more suffering in future lifetime, right? Okay, so anyhow, that's much I want to talk about the wrong livelihood and right livelihood. Until you have a question and some kind of suggestion, I will take it. Otherwise, I'm going to move next. So anything you have thoughts on it, wrong livelihood and right livelihoods.
Last week there was discussion of wanting to get ahead in your profession. And I have been thinking about that because I think in many, or if not most professions, any step up the ladder that you take, or promotion that you receive, means that somebody else does not get that same thing. And I can't think of a profession where that's not the case unless you're in a business by yourself or some such. But I wonder if that is included in your thinking about right livelihood. I mean, it in many ways like killing insects. It would be really convenient for us to not have the stink bug in our house, whatever it might be. And it's easy to take a promotion and not think about another person who might have gotten that, maybe even in your mind deserved it more than you did. Can you speak to that a little
bit? Okay. So make sure that I understand that you're saying anything you collected with the work hard, what you owes. That's regarding you saying?
Sorry.
Okay, then can you repeat with or someone can help?
She means, like, if you're at work and you get a promotion, but you feel like, somebody else might have been more deserving than you of the promotion. How are you supposed to go about that? There's a lot of situations where you feel like, you got something. When you get something, that means that the other person did not get something. So especially in that kind of situation where you feel somebody else actually might have deserved it more than you, but yet you got it. Should you accept it? How should you deal with that situation?
Which is not other ones get it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Not even necessarily that you feel that somebody else may have deserved it more, but just to move ahead, while somebody else does not. It has to mean that somebody else does not.
You're taking their opportunity.
Well, yes, but you're being given it that.
Well, yeah,
I'm
saying, but if you accept it, you're taking it from them in a way, right?
Yes. So that's the dilemma.
I have a question. So I had a situation where I was working at a dockyard and there was a teenager there as well working with me. And it came to the time where I was close enough to management to hear that they were gonna fire somebody. And that they were thinking of firing the teenager because the teenager was so young. What they didn't know was that I was disabled. So what I did is I went to management and I quit. And I found a new job. Do you mean something like that?
I guess that's like the inverse of this, of what Georgine's talking
So
about.
do you mean that, or do you mean,
Well, I guess my question is, should one do that? Should
oh,
one?
okay.
No matter what.
Mhm.
I mean, that situation that you just
Yeah.
is a little different. But because my son was a dog hand, I know how hard that work is, and it would be difficult for a disabled person to do.
Yes,
That's a little different from just having a promotion. I think of it as getting ahead by stepping on somebody else. Even if you don't mean it that way,
Mhm.
it's the logical outcome.
So,
I mean, what if you're just more qualified?
oh, that's a good point,
You
right?
know, is that always the case? I understand what you're saying, but is that really always the case?
Even if that's true, you may feel that you're more qualified in your own mind, but that might not really be the case.
But what if it is, because it's, the person is promoting you, and what good does it do in a situation, let's say it's an office situation, for you for you to reject that job? Somebody else is gonna get it. Somebody else is, you're just gonna, honestly, if you decline it, somebody else is gonna get it.
That's what she's saying. If she declines it, someone else will get it, and that's a
Right.
act of generosity and renunciation.
Um,
She's wondering if that's the right.
That's
Is that
really
red
not
flag?
what I was asking. I mean, this is all great.
okay, then let me say, okay.
What I'm asking about is if you are given that opportunity, say a promotion, and you take it, does it come down to how you hold it?
You're taking opportunity or you're giving opportunity to others? You're taking opportunity.
Is it necessarily a bad thing if you take that, if you can hold the person or persons, might be multiple people, who aspired to that same position?
Okay.
To hold them in mind, does that make sense?
Yeah, this is a little bit complicated say one answer, right? With the one answer. In general, I say it's not necessary to bet, right? So, and the point is here what we have to do, and it's which cover everything, right? As we say, right livelihood, wrong livelihoods, everything you are collecting. So more be satisfied with it. That's covers a lot of things. So satisfaction, So get it necessary things, and then unnecessary things not necessary to get it. So which is for surviving life. Therefore, your inner the thoughts and qualities goes with the more satisfactions, and you will find answer from there, I think.
That speaks to the person who doesn't get the promotion. To be satisfied with that.
No, if you satisfy, we not worry about what they are. Here saying you survive with the right livelihood. You shouldn't do wrong livelihood, right? So therefore, as you satisfy more, then it covers what else, like a part of generosity to others, or like helping others, or whatever. It might be covered on it, right? When you do practice more satisfactions, everything what you have it, then it's cover everything, I think. So therefore, I said you got a lot of answer from there. So otherwise. Taking advantage, giving advantage, whatever, it is really depend, and then what just complicate things, I think. So anyhow, the next chapter will also continues talks about that, right livelihood and wrong livelihoods about it. So therefore, I'm going to move to next, right? With the chapter 8, the called the riches of the noble ones. And Katranka stop. That's just leave it there. So we are more focused on the saying here, the riches of the noble ones. And then okay, the what the okay, forsake material possession and what call embellish yourself with the riches of the noble ones. So forsake material possession, embellish, right? So and again in commentary, this is the root text, the root line, the root text, right? Which two line we recited or read it. So the commentary said, so now is the time to seek the wealth of the noble ones by mean to material wealth, just as one seek to accumulate a year's provisions within a month. Now is the time to seek the long term's ultimate aim in the very life. And our approach is to take our share on the day-by-day basis. So that's, I think, the very well described who we are, right? So the meaning is talking here, you are like finding your own happiness or getting your essential of life to rely on materialistic, only to rely on materialistic. So and then even not just that you are relying on only materialistic, every result you are seeking very like a short period or right now, so impatiently. So though everything's wrong, here's those are wrong. Your essence of life, finding essence of life or finding happiness in life is rely on the material, only rely on the materialistic, it's wrong. And also that happiness seeking in the moment, impatiently, very faster and moment, that's also wrong because it's not happening it. That's the said it, right? So that's the meaning of this line. And therefore, it says, if you rely more on the noble ones, the riches, then it will brings you more, makes your meaningful life or get your essence of life, which is happiness, is more long lasting and like surely you get that. But the materialistic is not 100% sure because let me read the next line and then we can describe it. Good morning. Okay. Material things are not reliable because it's too much up and down, and it's itself, the materials itself is not the what's called reliable. Then how you can get some good things from it which is not reliable, therefore itself is not reliable. This is therefore is essenceless. And then this is the why we are not getting our own essence, like a essence of life from material, because itself is essenceless. That's the saying. It's change lot, right? Which is change lot. So that brings your essence of life will be change lot. So that because our life is too much up and down because we only rely on materialistic. That's the setting here, right? So therefore, it says rely on the noble ones, riches of the noble ones, right? And then before I describe what are the riches of the noble ones, actually more described in a chapter 22, 22nd on this same book. It's quite extensively explain on it. So I'm getting the line from that chapter 22nd. Say what are the seven noble ones? That's the wealth of the faith, the riches of the seven noble ones, or the wealth of the seven noble ones. So the wealth of the faith, the wealth of the morality, the wealth of the giving, the wealth of learning, the wealth of conscience, and the wealth of shame. Then wealth of insight means wisdom. These are seven riches. These precious and excellent jewel are the seven inexhaustible riches. So those are right. So, but before we talk, there's those seven nobles, how it's benefiting in our daily life. But we go back to the commentary again, with the materials thing, how much is essence-full or essenceless. In commentary, emphasizedly talking is essenceless with the, like it gives like a 5 example. So the first one saying materials are illusory wealth, right? And secondly, saying the materials are the poisonous flowers. And then also saying materials are like the salty water of sea, and materials like itchy fungal what's called rashes. And then also it's a transcend valuables. It transcend valuables, yeah. So giving this for example, let me read one by one, then see. First, the material possessions are known as the illusory wealthy. Essenceless, they fluctuate, right?
Yeah.
Greatly. People sell their own possessions and collect those of others. So its essence, they fluctuate greatly means like a this is, we don't have to describe a lot on it because we see it. Some people become riches in overnight, and same way some people become losing everything in one night. So it's like if you know what the nature of samsara, how nature of beings, then you will be okay. You will not go in a depression and so on and so on. If you do not know, it's a big shock. One night change big things. It's a big shock, right? So but knowing this will not have a big show. It's save your life, and it's also saves your all this the hard emotions are, right, the sufferings. So therefore these are we sees. This seeing it is not only the cause, their skill. The cause is what is nature is, and is losing what is should losing and gaining what is should gaining it. Like therefore, if we talk about the Buddhism, it's depend on karma. But here I'm not talking emphasize on the karma. So it's really we see that it's not only depend on skill and your hard work, right? So no matter how much you do hard work, you might lose everything in night, right? Or some are not really do hard work, but they gain a lot in one night. So it's up and down. So therefore, which is our daily job or business and our financial everything's, it's a lot of up and down, right? So and then right now you are having more wealth. It's not necessary that you remaining as like this forever, right? or right now you do not have that much wealth, but it's not necessarily remaining always this way. So it goes up and down. So therefore it says illusory. Illusory is sometimes there, sometimes not theirs, right? Therefore it's like a illusory wealth. And then if you're knowing it as those are impermanence, and those are depend on many different causes and conditions, then when this big change, you will not surprise. So once you're not surprised, then you will not shocked. Once you're not shocked, you have a very much less suffering. So therefore, it's good to know it. Therefore, it described here. Yes, it's like illusory. So therefore, saying is essenceless. Again, we should know that here all the materialists will keep talks is like a not necessary or essenceless. What really means is not saying that you shouldn't rely on it, right? Or is not saying that you shouldn't collect it something for your surviving life, such as a food, house, clothes, and so on and so on. It's not saying you shouldn't do that. We have to do that. Without those things, we cannot survive, right? We have to do that. The problem is we only rely on it and without dissatisfactions. That's the problem. All the point here saying, not only rely on those things and be satisfied. So then you will find some essence of life. Otherwise, doing the opposite one, only rely on the materials and without like a satisfactions, then you will suffer more. That's the whole point talking. So, and then therefore give you reason why it's not too much reliable, why it's essential. That means, yes, we see that it's essenceless. Oh, sorry, not essential. It's essenceless, right? So it's essenceless that we see it. Therefore, we shouldn't have too much attach on it. That's the point, right? But yes, we should use it. We have to drink and eat and so on, right? That's the saying. If you, just kind of like a way you to understand what here talking is, right? It's so, and then the understanding the meaning of the reason that essenceless or like a illusory wealth, and then after you understand, it's good things you accept it, right? If you do not accept it, then you are remaining as the same person who will have a suffering. You are remaining as the same person who only rely on the material, right? Materialistic. So therefore, accept it and then think again and again oftenly. So this is the nature of the all the financials and everything, like illusory. So it will be lose, it will be gain, but once we gain, don't have to be too much happy and don't have to be like increase your desire. So once you lose, don't have to be too much suffering and depression. So right, so because it's like it's illusory, that's kind of things talking here, right? Okay. After until you accept it, then it's not brings you any benefit. Once you accept it and then think oftenly, that will help you and benefit you in having less suffering in daily life. So, and the next line say, people sell their own possessions and collect those of others. Georgian, those you talking it? Georgian, you are not talking this one, right? You're not talking this one, right? The last one? They sell their own possessions and collect those of others?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay,
that's not really
okay.
what-
Okay.
I think what you're trying to say is that you can take the promotion
and take it as a gift, right? As something that was given to you. And you can use that, not necessarily, look at it not necessarily for an enhancement in money, although that is good. But you're also saying you can see the person who did not get the promotion and feel compassion for that person. And in that sense, you're developing, is that what you're saying? Like developing more, you're developing a greater sense of gratitude and faith and wealth because you accepted the goodness that you have,
Mm-hmm.
and you're seeing the you're compassionate for the person who did not,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, this is one of the meaning, yes. So, oh, okay. So here saying the sell your own positions is not, again, once it talks, what you understand. Tell me what you understand. People sell their own possessions and collect those of others. What you understand on this line?
I think that it's saying that it goes back to the idea that, wealth is our material possessions that fluctuate, what is yours one day is not going to be yours the next day, and what someone else's one day is going to become yours one day.
That's what you understand.
That's
Okay.
how I'm looking at it, is
Uh-huh.
that, it's sort of, everything, you don't actually in truth own anything, you're just sort of borrowing it, I guess we could say.
You're nothing as exchanging it.
Yeah, it's not,
And like, why is it so important? Like, don't look at it something that's absolutely, oh, this is so important, and because it's just gonna move around and it's really not what the essence of life is about, and it's one of those transient things, if you get virtue out of it somehow, or focus on gaining these things that you can keep, nobody gets to take your virtues from you unless you give them away, unless you do them actions, but any of this other physical stuff, whether it's money or whether it's the job, is just gonna move all around everywhere anyway, kind of like an illusion.
that's like one
Yeah.
thing that I encountered one time. It was a few years ago when my parents sold, the house that I grew up in. And then we went back to visit my neighbors one day, and we're talking to my neighbors outside, and you can see my old house, like, like right next door. And there was a kid in the doorway looking at us. And I was thinking, like, what's this kid doing in my house? And then I realized, wait, that's not my house. And it sort of made me realize that never really was my house. That was just, I was just using it at the time, And it was actually, it was just a house that I was just living in at the time. I was never mine, and now it's someone else is using that house, and that's just how it's, that's how it's been be.
Mm-hmm. You want to share something?
I was just gonna say, I kind of read it a little differently. It seems to me to kind of convey like spinning wheels. In other words, if you're in business, all you're really doing is selling one thing to get another, that the net result is still zero. It seems to me to be saying commerce is almost just busy work, that there's no actual gain from it. Because what are you doing? You make the money, you sell the car to the customer, and then you take the money that you're in from the car and give it to the electric company. And there's no actual gain, there's no actual loss. It's all just always evening out, and almost, I may be reading this part into it, that's the part I read literally, but then I see into it that what's the point? It's a pointless chase.
Okay.
Yes, I
Mhm.
agree with you that you're never satisfied with what you have, you always want more from, you see something that somebody else has,
We're different.
and you wanna just never satisfied, nothing will ever satisfy you, just every time you see something better, you want something more.
Oh, okay. You want to say something? Okay.
You're gonna sell it, but you're supposed to get more money from it, and you see what someone else has, so you're gonna buy it because you think that's worth more than what you have. Or you're never
So-
satisfied with what you have.
Okay. So selling your own possessions, what do you think? Selling car, selling house, that's your thinking? Uh-huh.
I mean, this is maybe too specific, but I was thinking about art collectors. You know, an art collector,
Uh-huh.
they have a painting that they used to really love, but then they see something they would really like to buy, but they can't afford to do that unless they sell the old one. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it, to me, that's a very clear cycle. You get bored, so you sell that thing, you put that into someone else. But then you turn right around and grasp onto something that is at that moment more attractive to you,
Mm-hmm.
prestigious or, you know, whatever. But that we never stop
Okay.
to
Mhm.
think about what we're doing.
Okay, that's all you have your own possessions, possessions, right? Possessions. I mean, like, I think this line saying sell their own, your own, you know, people, your own possessions, and then collecting those of other means what you're really selling is your inner strength, inner value, your happiness, your good qualities are selling. But what you're gaining is what the other means. If other ones have a big house, I want a big house. But getting this big house, you are selling you all your inner like good qualities. You're going to lie, you're going to fight for others, you'll be disable others. Those are like you're really selling good qualities,
So you
right?
gain the worry, you gain the worry about that house instead, like, oh, is somebody am I gonna lose this house now? Is somebody gonna break it or is it gonna burn down? And
Yeah, so therefore, I just my small test. We are how our things, right? We too much rely on material. We only talk material, right? When your own positions means you only think your own materials things. You never counted your own inner qualities as your positions, right? So if we more focus on this, these are also my position, my strength, my energy, my virtues, or usually briefly mentioned it's that my virtues, and then also all this my kindness, right? Those are my positions. But I'm selling my kindness for getting big house, right? I'm selling my kindness for getting something materials. So that's the meaning here, saying that their own positions, selling their and they collect those of others, right?
So when it's referring to our own possessions, is referring to our virtues and those of others.
Yeah, all our inner quality and strength, what we have now, without payings. So we have so many good qualities. What I will not say naturally, innately, we do have a lot of good qualities, but we never count it as a good qualities. I mean, like our own positions, our own like a um, the object that which we owe, right? So which we need or don't need, we owe or don't owe. When we talk this kind of words, we immediately our minds goes on the material things, right? So, but when we talk to practitioner, the great practitioner, they might think opposite. What do you have for your position? If we ask to Melodipa or someone, what do you have for your the positions? He might say, the human bodies or my compassions or my opportunities or my abilities. Those are counted. They counted. So instead of we, it is totally opposite, right? So we can be switched that way. If you more value it, your inner qualities as your the great positions, then you minds comes immediately. You know, otherwise, if we losing something in like a in our once we lose your house, once you lose your job, but actual not losing your essence of life at that time, or everything, you are not losing the strength and ability on everything which you can collect at your essence of life, but you're losing house. But as you're not counting what you have a value for that collected again your essence of life, then you will not have that much worry when you lose the house, right? Otherwise, once you do not think that your inner essence, the inner values are as your possessions, then losing house is like a big suffering. You lose everything. That's how you feel it, right? So yeah, sometimes we think, we're not having like a good rank, or no, we're not having like a good grades, right? Or we are too much looked down by the society and community. Then what really we lose? Actually lose nothing. If you compare, if you look at the it's really depend on how you accepted essence of life, right? So we accept it as I'm talking women's who Buddhist practitioner, or some might have that. We accept essence of life is happiness, which has a many different levels, right? Like a short moments happiness to long-term happiness, or forever happiness, those kind of things, we do have it. So this is essence of life. So, and then the losing your job and house, or losing someone else, but still all this, the strength of collecting again, or collecting your essence of life is remaining with you. It's not lose it until you lose your life, until lose your strength. Otherwise, everything is there. Once you lose your house, everything is still remaining it. Once you lose your job, still remaining it. So, but our minds too much rely on the materialistic. Therefore, house is so important. And then this is the essence of life, right? And then being rich is the essence of life. Becoming famous is the essence of life. Once you counter that are the essence of life, then I think once you lose it everything. Otherwise, if your essence of life is your happiness, you lose nothing. Every strength that you can get back your happiness is remaining same, right? So for example, sometime it might take time, sometime like a very short period, get back to you. Say, let's say you lose your job and you're too much worry and sad about it, right? And then once you think those reason, other side, opposite of reason, then your minds become more calms, right? So this is your values. This is you have positions, makes your mind calms. It's depend on how you think it, right? It's thoughts your, and then reasons are open you to think, right? And books are open you to things. All this meditation part, everything is open for you. You can, without paying, you can graft it, right? And you have a thoughts, you have all the five senses functioning well. So then very short moment, you can change back because you do have this value. If you lose, when you lose the job, if you lose everything, there are no other things remaining which you get back happiness. That might take longest suffering, right? Having longer experiences, longer suffering, because you are not preferring for getting back. You think you lose everything. You don't have anything that with you, right? So that is the difference between who counted inner processes as a more important, valuable than material, or who are material positions more important than the others. This is depend, right? So, practically, that's if we more focus day by day, the inner values are more our own positions, which are ours without pace, which is very powerful. If you more valuable it every day, then your mind will be switched, right? Once your mind switch, your thought switch, then will not have that much suffering once you lose something, right? Yeah. Yeah, this line is powerful. Therefore, I test you, self, own positions. Yeah, that's how we think actually. Okay. And then continues is among for a greater perfect. They forsake happiness while busily chasing wealth. Again, continues talking about the materials, right? But the longing for happiness, they run about everywhere, not seated by sensual object. Sated means satisfaction, right? Not sated by sensual object. They take on more misery, right? So, so it's a longing for happiness. They run about everywhere for busily chasing wealth. That's talking about the wealth is everything, right? So wealth is everything to make you happy. So wealth, you think the wealth is the powerful and main reason that makes you happy. Therefore, we're chasing busily after that, saying I'm working 16 hours, I'm working 20 hours, I have a less sleep. It's up to you, right?
I remember an image that I saw, it was like a cartoon, but it was an educational cartoon, and it had a couple saving money to go out in Las Vegas. It has to be Las Vegas because saving up to go out to dinner, Las Vegas, to spend $100 on dinner, and they're so happy and they're so in love and they're spending their money on something that they enjoy. And then there's another person in the other side of the cartoon who has won $100,000 and lost it all down to $100. That person's miserable. He lost $990,000.
Yeah.
And they both have the same thing, but one of them is extremely grateful and happy to have it, and the other is miserable because they can only think that they've lost so much. And there's an extremely miserable, very famous man in the world who's about to lose tomorrow morning. He's going to lose a lot, almost everything. He will still have more than most humans will ever have, but he's a miserable human, and he is a victim. He feels everything's being taken from him. But he still has more than anyone, and people who could even have a thousandth of the material wealth that he has would be the happiest, most generous people in the world. But instead, this person is miserly and victim. It's just that perspective.
Yeah, that's
what
true.
you value.
Yeah,
and it's not the money.
It is, yeah.
Well, it depends on what you define as wealth, right?
Uh-huh.
Because wealth doesn't necessarily have to be money. Materials can be other things, like you're chasing love in the sense of you're chasing a relationship, or you're chasing, wealth could be chasing a relationship, or it could be chasing something else, because materials, when you're defining it, right, like any formation, right, that's what you're saying, right? So it's kind of like stop chasing and see what you have inside of you, but also don't get too attached to what you have inside of you, because that's your ego talking, right? And you want to not have your ego, too large, or you don't want your ego to be there. You want it to be pure, right? Is that something?
Yeah. So here mine is giving as example as the chasing after the run after the wild means. So as you said, there are many different formats there. So whatever materials is not reliable, even like a relationship and so on, so on. We can talk more on it. Yeah, we're gonna say.
Because it kind of reminds me, I'm not sure if I'm right, but there's a quote that's like, you don't chase, you attract. Is that the same concept?
You don't chase you
You
attack.
don't chase things, you attract.
I'm not familiar with that quote.
Would be like advice, like you shouldn't chase things.
So it's like a quote like that is like pretty common in marketing. But it's you
Oh, I
don't
see.
chase.
You create
You
the
don't-
conditions
you
for things to
attract.
come to you rather than.
So, yeah, you
things
have
that
to
you go after.
develop and cultivate a good heart, good values, good morals, good ethics, and then when you do, you attract the wealth. You don't have to chase it.
Oh yeah, the marketing quotes is marketing quotes. So yeah.
I thought, we're talking about, it says that about the fire at the edge of the forest. I mean, it goes right down, forsaking happiness. Isn't it about like attachment that it increases? So the more attachment you have to these things, the more you're gonna want. And so it's like that's why it says, don't even let a little bit of it take fire at the edge of the forest, because it's just gonna grow and grow. And, when we're talking about material things, it's the more money you have, the more you want. But you're not gonna find satisfaction or happiness no matter what you have. And I think even in non-material things, if you're chasing only happiness at forsaking everything else, then you're also gonna do damage to people and yourself. If we're talking Buddhism, you're also gonna collect karma because you're chasing happiness at the expense of everything else. And then if we're staying in Buddhism, the only true happiness is enlightenment. That's the only one that lasts. That's always gonna be there.
That's true. So also happiness, chasing happiness, same time also teaching here how you get that happiness, not the materialistic, right? So you get that happiness through by more your inner values. That's actually shows the path to getting happiness. It's your essence of life should be more happiness, and then how you get that happiness, you should go this right path instead of wrong path. Then will no problem at all, even you chasing the happiness, right? Otherwise, as you said, it could be cause problem. So, and this is the most, whether we describe or not, whatever we're chasing, for happiness, yes. Whatever wealth, fame, whatever we're trying, it's for happiness, yes. So, but people don't think it's for happiness. People like a stocks, it's say things, it's for wealth, it's for fame. That's how they think it.
This could also be applied, there's this phrase called like spiritual materialism, where it's kind of, have a tendency to think that in order to increase our virtues, that we need more external things. We need to, there are more things that we consider to be like, like religious and whatnot. Like, I know like Lama Atisha, when he first went to Tibet, he said that he noticed that the Tibetans practiced with many Buddhas but had few virtues, but the Indians practiced with few Buddhas and had many virtues. So I was wondering if that's sort of like another layer to this, where to say that, a lot of people think that they need more things to practice with and more, they need more all these different things to work with in order to increase their virtues. Meanwhile, it could be done with very few things. Like I think about like like those yogis who go in a cave and they recite a single mantra for decades. Yeah, so maybe that's sort of another.
Yeah, I think those are similar. Actually, yes. Actually, we should busily chasing something. Yes, but here's not the wealth, but even wealth. Yes, that seventh, like a noble wealth, that you should more busily chasing with it. It will be helpful or more benefited, but instead of material wealth, right? So therefore, it's saying we're forsaking happiness, but while busily chasing the material wealth, then it goes wrong. right? What you want, you will not get it, even you really work hard. So again, you give one example who is like a huge having material, and then this is not one or two. We have a lot of example in this earth, right? Many rich people, change in one night. So we see that in front of us, and we hear in news. So we have direct experience. We have a lot of example, right? The problem is same time we have a huge ignorance. We sees it but don't understand it. We sees it, not get it. And then need to be a lot of explaining on it. Actually, we don't have to explain that much on it because we sees it. So those are take example, and then more we have to think is not we should busily chase after that, right? So, but again, let's say one of my training saying if you have a wealth, it's wonderful. If you do not have a wealth, it's also wonderful, right? So now here saying if you do not have a wealth like material wealth, it's wonderful. But on the other side, if you have you will become a very wealthy, or you have a lot of wealth, material wealth, it's also beautiful, as means you are depend on your motivations. You are chasing busily after that, collecting those are for benefit to others, then makes sense, right? So not for your enjoyment. I think maybe if I'm not wrong, one time I saw the one short video clip which Jackie Chan explained his house, shows the tour in his house. He has a huge room for only for shoes, and then only for something. They have many different rooms. So he shows us, and then he said, "Don't do like this." At the end, he said, at the end, he said, "Don't do like this." Because he have an experience. At the very beginning, he do not have experience. He have money, he can do everything. Then he wants to build for house, do like shoes. He wants to build room for like a something, right? So finally, he saws this essence less. What? That only people knows you have a big room for only shoes. What do you gain, right? So and then because you have only 2 feet. Whether you have a big room for like 100,000 shoes, but you're on only 2 feet. What 2 feet can do with 1,000 shoes, right? So that's just for showing up. We are just more making for show up. Then, okay, how and how long you show up, and what really get benefit for that. So therefore, he said at the end, don't do like this. So those are like they are saying the point is with their experience that we should reliable on it. We should trust on it because they do have experience, right? So therefore, if you the motivations goes like instead of building like a room for only shoes, those money give others or build a school and so on, benefit for other, turn into the more generosity practice better, then makes sense to have wealth. And then this also can count it as the Dharma practice, right? So the Dharma practice is reduce your self-centeredness and benefit to others, right? So, and then if you more benefit to others or not for you, it's happening. And then that's the Dharma practice. Dharma practice is actually reduce all these negative emotions, which is the cause of suffering. Your generosity will reduce your stinginess. Stinginess is one of the cause of suffering, right? And then giving only other, not for you, is you reducing your self-centeredness. And that's exactly, even you are chasing after the materialistic wealth, but as your motivations benefit to you because you're reducing the bad cause or negative emotion, which is cause of suffering. That way you are getting more happiness, right? That's doable. Otherwise, in general, not run after the only the materials, right? Let's say give you an example, finding more miserable in the end. So instead of that, satisfaction is good, right? The professor Samdong Rinpoche, one of our great scholar in Tibetan community, he very admire Gandhi's book, very thin book called Hindi Swaraj. The Gandhi book. If you read that book, it shows what the fault of collecting materialistic, how harms in your life to world to rely on the materialistic. Hindi Swaraj, how translated in English? Hindi Swaraj, I don't know, but the Gandhi book, very thin. I think it's translated in many languages. I'm sure that it's translated into the English. What's that?
It's definitely.
It's translated in English, right?
In Swaraj. Swaraj is like.
You guys know the name of that?
Yeah, that's the name of the book.
The book, the name is like.
Yeah.
Untranslated.
Yeah.
It's Hind, Hind Swaraj. Swaraj.
And what was the translation of that?
How do you spell it?
I
don't know.
Hin.
Swaraj is like independent, self-independent. Yeah.
So,
Let me make sure it's still.
and this is commentary that we're reading right now.
Yeah.
It is a commentary, yeah.
It's just the 2 lines.
Yes.
This is all commentary.
Yes, yeah.
And what commentary?
Same, the book, Kadam, Book of Kadam. You have it, yeah.
Conversation.
This is from, okay, so the text, the condensed version of the text that we're doing kind of line by line is the jewel, Bodhisattva's jewel heart.
Yeah,
And then later on in the book, there is like a 32 chapter conversation.
Yeah.
called the Jewel
But that
Heart.
dialogues are not only the,
Wait, was it the?
sometimes, Adishas give teaching with the poetry's way. And Dromtembar answer also poetry ways. Those are, yeah, from commentary. That's a commentary.
SWA origin. And actually, the translation in English is Indian Home Rule.
Indian.
Is it not all a conversation between Atisha and Gom? What's it?
Dromtembar. Dromtembar.
Tompa.
Uh-huh. It is,
Percent of the book is just the conversation. between
yes,
them.
yes.
But this is not.
It is.
This
Is
is the
because
response to.
this Dromtembar asked to Atisha.
Oh, and then he has the summary.
Yeah, and then he answering for
No, I didn't
that.
remember.
Yeah, he answered it.
Book, it's like very dense text. I haven't seen it like.
Oh, I see. Okay, it is a stanza to stanza, yes. Mhm. So yeah, so therefore I think the Hind Swaraj, I think I remember one quote from Gandhi said, this earth can wish fulfill you is what is necessary, but this earth cannot wish fulfill yours what called desire.
I think I've heard the similar translated, it says, this world can support human need, but not human greed.
Yeah, same. That's same. Maybe who's first? I don't know. They're the same. Yeah.
That was later, I think that was.
Yeah,
misinterpreted.
yeah.
That was- They were, when I read it, it was in Geshe Tashi's series.
Okay.
I'm reading, it said about us, about this planet being destroyed, but there's plenty to sustain everybody at a basic need level, but because everybody wants more, the environment's going down.
That's true. So that's sometime maybe if you have a time, you can read that in Swaraj. He very admire on it, and it's also translated into Tibetan language. So, so that's it shows like the too much leaning or relying on materials is how goes wrong and downfall. Yeah. So okay. Therefore says not such as be sensual object there on more material. Okay. Just like a flame, at this I'm giving an example, okay, I'm just reading it. Just flame as the age of the forest. First, do not let it gain ground at the forest age. The forest have been what's called raised from flames at its age. Refrains from the slightest attachment to wealth of all of you. So this is the last line. Even like your small desires, small non-virtue actions, you should more attention and careful on it. The small could makes you big, right? Therefore, Buddha said to monks, even don't drink the alcohol, even one drop of the alcohol, right? So one drop makes you one bottle. So that's just understandable. Once you bottle, then you do everything wrong, right? So therefore, stopped it from small things. The stopping in small things is more easier for us until it's like get into the very bad habit. So once turned into your habit, then it's very difficult to change it. But before you are doing something wrong and it's newly known, you notice that it's newly for doing. Oh yeah, now this new for me, I'm doing something wrong. At that moment, you should stop it because it's not turned into your habit. It will not take that much time and your energy for changing it. So once become your habit, then almost you have to give up. Okay, leave it me as who am I? That's what we said, right? Because we're tired to change it. So and then same time we say leave it as who am I having a lot of suffering. Then you have it, right? So enjoy with it. That's the only answer should left, right? So anyhow, this is the saying here. That's important. Even the negative actions or your the mental reflections, you are more growing your desire, or you're growing more anger, or you increasing all these other negative emotions. You notice that you just more try to stop it to thinking reason. So okay, it's not good, definitely, and why? Think all this reason, then it reminds you not let you do it again. This is how we change it, right? And you definitely we need to work hard for changing, which is really turning our habit. So, and many of my friends and also many of in the world, when it's turned into the habit, then they're saying it's my nature, leave it, right? They said it's my nature. Actually, not your nature. It's not come with that when you born it, right? It's not innately there. You just get it after influenced by whatever environments, right? So it's not your nature. If your nature, it should be there when you're born, right? So, but people say it's my nature. It's very difficult to change it. It's lying.
In real life, this is a real question. How often do you bring that up to your friends? How often do you actually verbalize your knowledge when you see friends, when you have secular friends who are making mistakes or blaming the wrong things for their suffering? How often do you bring these things up to them, or do you?
Almost difficult, you know. Often means like how often I bring means help them or.
Yeah, say things like what you just said.
Okay.
Would you say that to a friend, or would you?
Definitely.
Say,
Yeah.
you know, the reason that you're miserable is because
So
I find myself often not knowing how to help people who may be suffering, that I unskillfully may know something from my Buddhist studies that could help them, but I often feel like I'm not qualified, or it's not my business. I just wonder, since you have secular friends and so much experience on the path, I wonder how you.
this is very difficult. Like say our monastery student, They will more easily listening.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, just
Difficult is who are same age, the mutual friends, longtime friends. Those are very difficult because who are more what call independently take decisions, right? So that is the more difficulty that whenever I try to. And sometimes it's good that when I try to tell them something, they point me back, how about this? Then I realize, oh yeah, I do wrong. So otherwise, it's helped me to like changing, but I accept it. Changing is takes a lot of time. So we change through by very small things, right? Yeah, little. That's I believe it, and then and also it takes time, but definitely we need to move forward for changing. But as you are asking question, I'm giving one example. One of my friend, who we grew up together, and then so and then whenever I saw that friend, I think almost day and night with the TV and video, right? So my advice was keep saying, okay, when we have fun is fun. When we're young, we waste a lot of time. We have a fun. That's good. We are same age, So now I'm study more. I'm try more practice. Why you don't do that? Right? So our time is getting more over. So why you don't 100 times I say that. Even not slightly change it.
but they never, do they argue with you? Has it ever caused?
Not arguing. That's good. Not arguing.
They argue, they say, oh, just stop telling me that.
Yeah, sometimes, yes. Yeah, sometimes say that, but I'm not giving up because so this is my because close friend, right? The close friend again easy can talk, right? Their fight is not really fight, which I know, then no problem, right? But their fight is real fight, and we don't know each that much together, or we're not really close. Then we should take a time and think how should give advice, right? So we try best, but what we have to do, we have to do, and what they take response is not our business. The taking their response is their decisions, but what we have a right to say is we can do it, right? So yeah, and then finally he asked me bring something from India, right? Then my condition is okay, I will do that, but you have to change a little bit. Then he promised it, right? He promised that I bring from India and give it to him, but not change it. Not change it.
There's cultural sensitivities here at play, right? I mean, as Geshe will agree, like in India, you can be a little more direct.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could, if somebody's obese, you can on the face say, you're fat, you need to lose weight. I think I think the cultural sensitivities which are at play here. So
It is big difference. So here, my Westerner friends are very careful and not oftenly try to say that because sees instead of having benefit, it goes to more worse. But once you get a chance, I try to not miss that. Once you get a chance, someone asked me, then never said, I don't know. I don't have a time, So try to not miss that chance. Otherwise, keep praying. I wish, and then if we get able to talk, we talk, not then pray. So at least doing something for them. Yeah, that's how it's but it's a hard work, difficulty, but and so far I never give up for our student or my friends and so on and so on. Yeah.
I feel like you find this problem a lot, especially in the United States, where people will like on the other extreme, like where you like give someone advice or you tell them that they're doing wrong, they'll just try to do that wrong thing more out of spite.
It's like they
Just to-
own the behavior. They feel like they
Yeah.
own the behavior and by
Like-
trying to help them.
Like, for example, like
Where this?
like you see like a lot of people, for example, like, you know, if they if like they, you know, they eat meat, for example, and someone tells them, oh, you should eat less meat, then they just start eating more meat just to kind of like prove that person right, because they don't like that person, don't like being told what to do. And you see that happening a lot, and it creates a sort of weird scenario where it's like, you know, if you give this person advice, are they going to move closer to this good quality, or is it gonna push them further away from this good quality? Because, you know, because they feel like they're being, you know, some attacked, or they feel like.
They
you know,
feel
they're-
judged, yeah.
I feel
I get that.
judged, yeah, they feel like their self-worth is at risk, is at danger, you know, it's like they. Yeah, it's a weird.
It's the balance of being helpful and sounding self-righteous, I think is very difficult
Yeah.
for me. To not have friends think that I'm preachy when I really mean to give them something that's worked for me. And I know it doesn't work for everybody, but as a suggestion, I would never say, you should do this, but I'll say, one thing that has helped me, or in my studies, or in my practice, or I used to also feel that way. And it's still often, I feel that it's perceived as arrogant.
Yeah, that's true. When I said each time, if I talk one meaning, which you asked him change, but each time I'm giving different reason, not repeating same reason. And then also I'm looking the chance, not just immediately talks, like it has waiting some contact to say that. You know, it's something comes up to have to say something that, then I'm saying it. Not the immediately, we're meeting it, how you have a tea and you do this. I'm not saying that, yeah. So, yeah. This is then it show up that I'm doing too much. Sometimes I'm reflecting myself, how much I do to telling them to do it. So, and then how much I sees that much I encourage them. And then also sometimes I encourage them more than I see is depend on my future belief. Okay, I will become like this. They can do that, you know that. So, but anyhow, always waiting some kind of good time, you know. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so maybe I'm going to stop here, and then next continues talking the second the explanation on say they're like poisonous flowers and so on and so on. So if anyone have a question on who is online,
No question, just want to say thank you so much, Geshe.
my pleasure.
What does it mean? So now is the time to seek the wealth of the noble ones by means of material wealth.
Where is it?
It's almost the top of, yeah, that,
Oh, okay. Noble ones by mean of
are they just saying in reference to, is that what that means?
no, it's saying we try to buy compassion by money.
It says, so now is the time to seek the
By
wealth.
means is like by
No,
using material wealth.
Actually, they're saying that, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
use your material
Yeah.
wealth to gain.
We try to use that, but it's wrong. We try to use our material to gain something like a noble by noble, you know, there's a saying. Yeah, I think it is. Let me see.
Feel like if you weren't trying to develop your inner qualities, you were just trying to like buy your way out.
Yeah, this
Say,
is
so now.
But the weird thing is like, there's also like this thing where I was thinking, you could look at it in another way where it's like, what if you did come into benefit of money, right? And let's say you got affluence, then what do you do with it? So my thought was, oh, they're saying that's the point at which you give back to the noble ones. It's kind of like karma, like wherever you came from, like dependent origination, then you're gonna give back to that source. that gave you the benefit that built that up within you to begin with.
So actually, some of my friends, like I say, I will pay you whatever you need the money. Please teach me secret one. We can easily get happy. Secret one, right? So they think paid, then they get something to get like easily way to have happiness. That's they're buying their own noble ones through by the materials. The faith cannot buy materials, money or so on. As well as your morality, all these you cannot buy from materials, but we try to do that, right? That's the thing. This is the time people doing this. This is the time people doing everything's try to buy from materials, which we cannot. So that's the saying here. Yeah. Yeah.
Relate back to built into Buddhist return opportunity that you're a teacher because they do something for us.
That's different issue. That's different issue, which I give you a Chinese or one of the Chinese saying, I give you money, whatever you much. I have a lot of money I can give you. But please keep me this, teach me the secret practice which I can get enlightened easily, overnight. Impossible. It's impossible, right? So this is they expect it, right? So they think money can do everything. No, right? Yeah. So therefore, faith, the faith, or we can fame buy from money. That's true, right? And then friends buy from money, and then supporter buy from monies. But there are so many things we cannot buy from money. But people think that way. I can buy it. Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, so we're going to stop here. I have a next class. See you next time then. Have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Geshe. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah. Chiba, I'm leaving this here. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah.